So today we're going to do something a little bit different. As you can see, this is not gaming related. We're going to be ranking the common birds in Western North Carolina because that's where I live, and we're gonna rank the birds that are through here that I see about every day. There's a few on here that I don't normally see, but I just went through the list of birds that were in North Carolina and put them on this tier list. So we're gonna be ranking them. This is new to me. Well, for making this, I've definitely, in my head at least, ranked all these birds and which ones I like the best and stuff. But first of all, the blue jay. This is the blue jay, right? Yeah, this is the blue jay. They don't have the names, so I'm just gonna have to guess on what they are. Some of these I'm gonna have to actually figure out what they are, because there's some on here that I don't know the actual names. But the blue jay, I like the blue jay. They're pretty cool. I like the colors. I think they're a little bit mean. I think they're mean. I believe. I think they like take over other birds' nests and stuff. I could be wrong about that. They're really pretty. I like how they sound too. We'll put the blue jay. A or B tier? We'll put them in B tier for blue jay. That's what we'll do. I would. He's high B tier. Just because I do like the Blue Jays a lot. I'm not talking about the baseball team. The Blue Jays on the baseball team is pretty good, but so next we have the Northern Cardinal. This is the male. The female is on here as well. I'm ranking them differently. That may be feminist, but you know, they're birds. So the male Northern Cardinal. I like cardinals. They're our state bird, so I feel like I kind of have to rank them fairly highly. I'm not too big of a fan on how they look. I like the red, but they look funny to me. Like just something about them looks a little funny to me. We'll put them in B tier with Blue Jay. We'll probably put them like in the middle of B tier. We'll put them here with on high B, just because he's a state bird. I'm not too big of a fan of cardinals. They're like just really, really common. And they're alright, you know, like it's nothing like special. I mean, they're cool. I mean, I like how they sound and stuff. The downy woodpecker, I think that's what this one is. I'm definitely missing some birds on here because I'm thinking of some. I love my woodpeckers. I think they're really cool. We'll put. I don't know the difference with woodpeckers though, because I'm pretty sure there's a few that aren't on this list. I think this is the only woodpecker that's on this list. believe. But I do really like the woodpecker. We'll put him in A tier. We'll put him in A tier. A little, probably like low A tier, I would think. I do like my woodpeckers. I think they're really cool. They sound pretty cool too. They're not all just about chirping. Not chirping, just like, you know what a normal woodpecker would do. You know, like what people think they do. But they do make sound too, and it's pretty cool. So this is gonna be the first S tier. I love bluebirds. This is the eastern bluebird, and I love bluebirds. This is automatically going in S tier. I love bluebirds. I think they're like, they're really good birds. I love bluebirds. I love how they sound. My mother loves bluebirds. My grandmother loved bluebirds. Just everyone that I know in my family loves bluebirds. So I feel like I have to put them in S tier. Okay, this is where we're gonna have to start looking them up. I think this is the titmouse. I believe. I'm going to. So yes, this is the tufted titmouse. They're. I think they're cool. During the summer of this year, we had like a lot of titmouse on our feeders and stuff. So we had like a lot of we'll put them in B tier. Probably a little bit lower B tier, just because they're like they're not too bright in color. They're just kind of a gray color and stuff. And their design isn't all that cool, but they're pretty cool. Okay, so this is the red-bellied woodpecker. I had to search and figure out what this one is because I can't see the face of it. So this is another woodpecker. I don't know the difference between these two. I'm not too caught up on the different woodpeckers. We'll probably give this one B tier, just because this one's not as colorful as this one. I like the color. I like this little like redhead stuff. I think the downy woodpeckers are cute. I like the tail, like not the tail, like the wings. I can pull up an actual. This is what they look like. I think they're pretty cool. Actually, looking at this picture, I might. But this is what they look like. They're pretty cool. But we'll put them here. The next is, I believe this is the goldfinch. I believe. Yes, this is the goldfinch. I don't see too many of these. But the goldfinch, I like the goldfinch. I like their color. We'll put them in A tier. I like the goldfinch. I think they're really pretty. You can spot goldfinches pretty easily since they're bright yellow. They're really cool. So next up is the Carolina wren. Now, they're very, very common here in Western North Carolina. These guys are everywhere. These and the house finch. These guys are extremely common. And they're almost like the mockingbird. They make a bunch of different sounds. We're gonna put him in C tier is because I just I'm not too big of a fan of them. They're really common. They're everywhere. They're here. They make a bunch of different sounds, and honestly, they throw me off whenever I'm trying to listen for new birds. And they're like the mockingbird, and y'all will see where I put the mockingbird. But they're still cool. They're not D tier, and they're not B tier. We'll put them like high C tier because they're still cool and all. But they're just really common. So next up is the brown-headed nuthatch. Now I don't know. I've not seen a brown-headed nuthatch. I've seen nuthatches. I have no idea how to actually. They're like, their name is hard to say, so it's just gonna be a lot of me just butchering its name a lot of times. But I think nuthatch. I think they're really, really cool because if I'm wrong, it's my bad, but I think what it said is that they're the only bird that can go sideways up a tree. Like, they can be sideways on a tree and go up or down. Like, hold on, let me pull up a video. So this is what they do. All right, these guys are really cool. They climb up trees like sideways, so they can be looking this way and still go up. Like, see, they're like really cool. Like that's how they feed and stuff. Like, that's how they can get to different places other birds can't and stuff. I think they're really cool. So we'll put them in A tier because these birds are really cool in my opinion. I think their gimmick is something really cool, and you can tell what you're looking at just by seeing how the bird goes up a tree. Like, I think they're just really cool birds. So I've made an oopsie. This isn't the red-tailed hawk. This is the red-shouldered hawk. So I'm pretty sure they do not make the same sound. So for that, we're just gonna put them in A tier. I love hawks, and they're still pretty cool. But I made an oopsie. That's my bad. So next up is the song sparrow, another really, really common bird. But I like these guys better than Carolina wrens because they actually sound pretty cool. Hopefully I will put up an audio clip of all the birds that I'm showing here. But the Carolina wren, not the Carolina, the song sparrow, they're pretty cool. We'll put them somewhere in B tier. They're just really common here again, and we had a bunch of them at our feeders as well during the summer. So this is the white-breasted nuthatch. This is another bird. The nuthatch is I'm hoping all nuthatch birds can go up the tree like that. Now these are the common guys that we see. Well, we'll put him with his counterpart. Hopefully both of them can go up. I'm guessing all nuthatch birds can. From what I'm remembering, it's just the type of bird, not the type of different species of the subcategory bird or whatever. So I believe both of them can go up the trees like that. But these are the guys that we see, the white-breasted ones. Um, so I like them a little bit better than the brown. I don't remember what this one was called. So next up, it's one of my personal favorites, the gray catbird. I love catbirds. Catbirds. I love catbirds. I love how they sound. They're so funny to hear. Every time I hear one, it makes me smile, knowing that there's one nearby. I love catbirds. So next up is the female cardinal. I'm not gonna lie. I really do not like female cardinals. They, in my opinion, they're so ugly. I really do not like. I really don't like them. I'm sorry, female cardinals. I know y'all got reasons to exist, but I don't like them. I really don't like female cardinals. Obviously, the female birds aren't as pretty as male birds, but it's on this list, and it has to get a D tier. I'm sorry, female cardinal. I'm so sorry. So next up, I believe this is the brown thrasher. They're not too common through here. I've seen a handful of them, and I think they're pretty cool. I like brown thrashers. I think they're really cool. They're really cool birds. I think they're more up near the mountains, I believe. But they're still really cool. But they're A tier. We'll put them like mid A tier. We'll put them here. So next up is Eastern Towhee. I don't know if this picture is right. I've not seen one that looks like this. So this is what they more look like. They're pretty cool. We got a lot of them on our feeders during the summer as well. We'll give them low B tier just because they're another one that's really common. I like the black and the orange. Actually, we'll put them like mid B tier. They're pretty cool. So next up is the pine warbler. I believe this is my uncle. He loves warblers. And I like warblers too. I think they're pretty cool. We'll give the pine warbler like mid A tier because warblers are really cool birds. They're very pretty. There's hundreds of different species of warblers that you can find. There's quite a bit. I don't know how many species there are in North Carolina, but we find a lot of different warblers if we go up higher in the mountains. They're just really cool birds in my opinion. So for that, I give him mid A tier. So next up, American Robin. Now, I don't care too much for robins. I think they're all right. You know, like I remember watching that Teen Titans Go episode where Robin becomes an actual Robin and lives in his in the chimney or whatever. So we're gonna give them low B tier just because I'm not too big of a fan of robins. I think they're also kind of mean as well. So for that they get low B tier, but they're still B tier. I mean, they still get, you know, a decent spot. Up is the Carolina Chickadee. Now, another really common bird. Chickadees are everywhere. These honestly are more common than what I say, the Carolina Wren. Or yeah, these guys are really common. But I like chickadees. We'll give them high C tier, like really high C tier. I don't want to give them low B. Either low B or high C, like really high C. We'll give them low B because I feel like I can't disrespect them enough to put them in C tier, but they're just really common. They're nothing like special. They're just everywhere. So next up, another one of my personal favorites, American Crow. I love crows. Crows are definitely one of my favorite types of birds. I love crows. They go in S tier. I love crows. They're really cool. I love crows. I love the fact that like they, you know, if you feed them enough, they'll, you know, remember who you are and stuff. I think crows are just really cool. You can have pet crows. They can speak even. I'm pretty sure I've seen crows that like speak and stuff. But crows are really cool. Now, for everybody's childhood favorite bird, the mourning dove. Just automatic top of the list S tier. The mourning dove is by far the greatest bird ever. The mourning dove is just such a good nostalgic bird that just you know when you hear this bird, you know, like it's just it's beautiful. Automatic top of the list. Top of the list. Nothing will top the mourning dove. The mourning dove will forever be my top bird. My favorite bird of them all. Just absolute nostalgic bird. When you were a kid and you were outside, you definitely heard this bird. Just amazing bird. Amazing bird. They're very pretty too. I would do anything to have a pet of one of these. I've seen people that actually do have mourning dove pets. They're cool. Next up is the ruby-throated hummingbird, I believe this is. Now, my mother loves hummingbirds. And for that, I feel like I'm gonna have to give them low S tier. So, a little story. We actually found a injured ruby-throated hummingbird on the ground, and we tried to save him, find like an animal hospital, like an animal rehab that would take him. But the only ones that were near are in like Asheville or something, and sadly, the poor little guy didn't make it. But I got to hold a hummingbird, which a lot of people probably won't ever do, just because they're small and really fast, and their chirp is really cute. It's like really high pitched and it's funny. So give the ruby-throated hummingbird S tier. Now, the bird that I hate the most is the damn mockingbird. Automatic, lowest of the low. I hate mockingbirds. Mockingbirds suck. If anybody knows anything about birds, mockingbirds suck. I was gonna say they even made an entire book on how to kill a mockingbird, but I don't even think I've never read it, but I don't even think that book is about anything about a mockingbird. I don't know. But they gotta be a bad bird if they've made a book entirely about it. But next up is the house finch. I believe this is the house finch. Another really common bird. Well, we'll put them in C tier. They're nothing too special. They're just another bird that just is really common, and there's just a lot of. So next up is the fish crow. You may be asking yourself, what's the difference between this crow and this crow? Well, obviously this is the American crow, this is a fish crow, but their calls are different. One sounds like a crow, and the other one has like a nasally sound to it. It sounds like he's congested. He's down with a cold or something. The fish crow, the way to identify it is, I'm pretty sure their wings are slightly different. I think the fish crow's wings are shorter or something. But the way to really tell them apart is by the way they sound. So the fish crows, they have like a nasally kind of call to them. They sound like they're sick, basically. But they're crow. We'll put them like mid A tier. I don't like fish crows as much as American crows, but they're crows nonetheless, and they both deserve pretty high on the list. Now, next up is the chimney swift. We actually see quite a bit of chimney swifts here, and they're pretty cool. I like chimney swifts. We're gonna give them mid to low A tier. I think they're pretty cool. I like chimney swifts. I think they're really cool birds, and we'll give them A tier. And finally, for the last bird, we have the red-winged blackbird. I like blackbirds. That sounded racist for some reason. But I think these guys are really cool. They remind me of Orioles almost. These guys are pretty cool. Apparently you can get these guys confused with sparrows. But these guys are pretty cool. We'll give them like mid B tier. So that's the end of the list. I've probably missed out on quite a bit of birds that are common. But I got the ones that were listed on sites that I could find that would show the pictures of them. But that's it for my tier list. If you want me to rank more birds, either rare birds that are in North Carolina or common birds or just birds in general that are in different states, we could do, like different birds like in Virginia or South Carolina or Georgia or Kentucky, like, or New York. The only birds I know in New York are pigeons and stuff. Um, if you want me to rank more birds, let me know, and hopefully I'll be able to make more content like this because I had a lot of fun ranking these birds. I probably will do more of this regardless if this blows up or not. But thank you for watching, and your goal for today is to find a bird out in the wild and see if it's a common bird in your where you live. So thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully do this again.